My beautiful friends, I am so happy to be back here with you because I was just teetering on the edge of losing whatever sanity I have left. And I have a lot of stuff I want to cover with you. Seriously. All right, let's start off with the basics. Stocks did nothing today. They were all over the place, but we kind of ended where we began. Dow finished higher a little bit, nothing major. S&P 500 fractionally higher. NASDAQ in the red. That brings me to this. You're gonna love this. All right. We are back on 2 to 10 inversion watch. All right. As I covered earlier, the entire curve has dropped. Look at the 2-year, 1.532. Look at the 10, 1.552. That spread continues to narrow. Look at the 30-year. We're going to be below 2% again very soon. You can count on it. Now, what I want you to understand here, now that we got that out of the way, we heard from Yellowstain today. I mean, he's a dark, stinking Yellowstain at this particular time. To me, and I am certain to those of you that were unfortunate enough to have to listen to the man, super dove. He promised to do pretty much what Draghi is saying, whatever it takes to maintain the expansion. Now, let's translate that. Do whatever it takes to maintain the expansion. Okay, so what he's saying here is we can expect massive debt acquisition on an unprecedented scale, cash printed out of thin air, added to a digital screen, suppressed rates, dollar intervention, everything we're hearing out of the President of the United States' mouth. And now it's, they're the tag team over there, and they're doing each other in more ways than one, if you get my drift here. The market initially seemed to like it. What does it mean? It means simply this: inflate or die. That's the truth. I mean, this is, no surprise to you. If you follow this blog for umpteen years now, I've explained to you they have no choice but to inflate, and inflate some more. While we're on the subject of horror shows, the real horror show today was not Yellowstain. It was the Coke freak, Larry Kudlow. I want to talk about Larry Kudlow a little bit here because I honestly believe he's back on Coke. Hardcore. Worse than, a decade ago when he admitted publicly that he was a hardcore Coke freak. Something is happening to his brain cells. The man was paraded out all day long, several times on CNBC Live, trying to spin the abysmal economic news or the abysmal economic cycle that we are in. Now, I want to show you why this horror show is literally horrifying. Bear with me a moment on this. Let me find it. Take me just a split second. I want to read this to you, and I want you to ponder what I'm about to say. And I'm going to ask you a question at the end of this, and I really want to hear from you. I mean it. Let's talk about Larry Kudlow's record. This is all verifiable. If you don't believe me, break down what I'm saying here and just Google it. Here we go. In September 2008, the meltdown, Larry Kudlow was recommending to buy stocks, and he also said there was no recession on the horizon. Okay, Larry Kudlow also denied the existence of a housing bubble at the time. This is where it gets even really twisted. So when we were actually in recession, all right, this is Larry Kudlow's statement. You ready? You really should sit down for this. Kudlow said it was a mental recession, not an actual recession. I want you to ponder what I just said. Now, here's the question. Why did President Trump choose this guy, really, to be his economic advisor? Something is very wrong there. Now, I want to talk about this too, and I want you to get a perspective on what I'm about to tell you. So Yellowstain, going back to him, he's a piece of work. You all know that. That's why he is known as Yellowstain, stinking Yellowstain now. The stench is overwhelming. So this is Yellowstain today. The Fed is not forecasting recession. Now, I want you to keep this in mind. During the meltdown, going back to, Larry Kudlow as well, during the meltdown, all the things he just said, during the meltdown, the Fed was denying that we even had a problem. And I'm going to tell you the big secret here. Are you ready for it? Let's make sure no one else hears this. The Fed never, ever forecasts recession. So, how many of you surprised, with a show of hands, that today Yellowstain said he's not predicting a recession? Maybe him and Kudlow, Yellowstain and Kudlow, should get together, I don't know, and have a big, fat, ugly circle jerk with Navarro and the President of the United States. He should be in the center while the others dance around him with some kind of a tutu on with a little hole cut out so they can perform the act of the circle jerk. I think that would be beautiful. Picture that. Picture that in your head. We're all being circle jerked on a grand scale here. It's actually beyond freaking belief. But I want you to ponder these things. Okay. So that's where we're at, people. We are literally at the stage of inflate or die. It's a horror show of epic proportions. The president has an economic advisor who is so mentally challenged and so mentally deranged, secondary to some type of anoxic encephalopathy from snorting huge amounts of cocaine, that his brain cannot function correctly. But it's kind of astounding how our president would choose this man to be his economic advisor, and again, how he was paraded out on CNBC Live all day, twisting this, spinning this, but they don't call him out. They don't call him out and say, Larry, how about this in 2008? How about that? Why should we listen to you now? What makes you so sure that you're correct now when you missed the Great Recession? And I mean, probably an event that, it definitely is in the history books. Well, he missed it completely and denied it all. So you explain that to me, seriously, because I am sincerely not too damn bright. All right, so that's pretty much it. Look, it's about the yield curve again. We are on the cusp of a new inversion. Like I explained to you, we're going back. The prospect that we're going to be talking to China next month, will it even happen? Who knows? This is the carrot being hung out in front of we the people and the markets, the same dog shit, recycled story over and over again. And when it goes bad again, they're going to recycle it again. And again, who's the laughing stock here? I think it's the President of the United States, and he's getting advice from a guy like Larry Kudlow and Peter Navarro. Both of these guys. Peter Navarro can't even add. Do you know that? He cannot add 2 plus 2. He can't do basic math. Maybe that's why the president can't do basic math either when he's referring to the cash that we're taking in from the tariffs. It's not true. We are losing $120 billion on that deal just so far. It's too stupid, but the narrative must be maintained. But again, think about it. You got Larry Kudlow, what's coming out of his mouth. You got the president, what's coming out of his mouth. And the other rest of the stooge team, which includes Peter Navarro and Yellowstain, you got to be kidding me. Honestly, is this the best we can do in our country right now? You could take 4 guys off the street, any of them, and replace them with, for the President of the United States, Larry Kudlow, Yellowstain, and Peter Navarro, and we would be doing better than we are doing now. Anybody, go down to, like, I don't know, a homeless shelter, honest to God, and find 4 people at random, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guarantee you that those 4 people that are now homeless would do better than the people that we currently have in charge of this thing around us. This is a comedy of lies on a grand scale. It's just too much. It really is. All right, look, with that said, it's Friday. Let's put this whole thing behind us, people, and realize that maybe a miracle will happen. And the 4 clowns that are running the show right now, you know who they are. I just told you. Maybe they'll turn it all around. Yeah, I doubt that. It's just gonna keep getting worse. No doubt about it. Much worse. So, with that said now, Friday, are you ready for it, people? Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. And we can make a difference. We really can, but it's got to start with us. That's the truth. I will see all of you over the weekend at one particular time to do my markets, a look ahead segment. I hope to see you there. Please share this video. Listen to it, maybe watch this video twice, and pay attention to the things that Larry Kudlow, the president's economic advisor, his right-hand man, the president's right-hand man, was saying in 2008. And you tell me why we should listen to one single thing that comes out of that thing's mouth. Honestly, I love all of you. See you over the weekend.